Hey everyone, Chris Cotting, Executive Director of MSI here with an important short interview. My guest today is Henri Goulet, Academic Dean, and I'm doing this interview at his request because it would be awkward for him to interview himself. Henri, you've got a brand new course coming out on April 13th. What's it called and what motivated it?
Yeah, so Chris, thanks. It's called Second Corinthians 5:17 in Messiah, new creation. And what motivated it, I think, is a lot like what motivated N.T. Wright to write a very important book called How God Became King, The Forgotten Story of the Gospels. Wright's very serious concern was that at this stage in his life, he thought most followers of Yeshua the Messiah did not understand that the centerpiece of the good news was the kingdom of God and praying it down every day in the Lord's Prayer to earth and having that anticipation that it would come down as our ultimate hope and then living out kingdom values, getting the work of the kingdom done. And I thought equally that the starting place is to be either a new creation or in the new creation in Messiah, which is Paul's very big concern in 2 Corinthians 5:17. So that's what motivated the course.
So, how do you think we should be translating 2 Corinthians 5:17 into English? And why do most translations differ significantly for this verse?
Yeah, so this is a great question, Chris. So the Greek of 2 Corinthians 5:17 just says, if anyone in Messiah, new creation. Now, there are things that we know in the Greek where verbs come into play, but the bottom line is new creation stands alone and it seems ambiguous. So the question becomes, is it that when you're in Messiah, you yourself are a new creation? Or is it that when you're in Messiah, you are in the promised new creation, let's say, of the book of Isaiah? And we're going to answer that question in detail by looking at about a dozen translations. And we'll find out that it's a both and.
Okay. So, how are people going to benefit the most from your new course?
Yeah, that's the best question you could ask me. And I think the greatest benefit comes from the B part of that verse, which says, the old things have passed away, or it could be rendered disappeared, and we'll learn other ways it could be translated. But then it says, look, pay attention. New things have come. And I think we're going to crescendo in the course on what are the new things that have come. How new should we be? And how new is what we're in? And I don't think we've begun to scratch the surface of that. So to me, it's one of the most important basic courses MSI could ever offer.
Wow. So, while I've got you here, what can you tell us about the really capstone event of the MSI year that you're calling the Wondrous Wisdom Weekend?
Yeah, the capstone event of MSI's year is always its visiting scholar symposium. And we're having a wonderful, engaging scholar this time who taught our course on Job. And I just want to say to our viewers that probably the most incredible insight she brought to us in her Job course is that Job's friends talked to Job about God, when in fact, Job's friends should have talked to God about Job. This was a riveting insight from her course. And she's going to bring us an understanding of wisdom that ranges from something cosmic like God's covenant of shalom, all the way down to and including how we live our everyday lives. So because she focuses on wisdom and where it can be mapped in the biblical terrain, we're calling it the Wondrous Wisdom Weekend. So we don't want you to miss that either.
That's fantastic. Some great new opportunities for lifelong learning coming up, and that can really make a difference in how we live. Folks, Henry and I encourage you to register for both courses today so that we may grow together. We'll see you
Indeed.
there.
Indeed.
Thank you much, Henry.
Thanks a million, man.